On May 20, 2013, a 1-mile-wide tornado flattened Moore, Oklahoma, killing 7 third-graders in a school the district had refused to retrofit for 14 years. The school was Plaza Towers Elementary. The kids were sheltering in an interior hallway because Moore public schools never built them a FEMA-compliant safe room. 6 of the 7 didn't die from the impact. They suffocated under the cinder-block wall that collapsed on top of them. Their hallway sheltering protocol was the same protocol most Oklahoma schools used in 2013. It's the same protocol that worked at Briarwood Elementary, 2 miles away, where every student survived. The difference between those two outcomes isn't luck. It's an engineering decision Moore public schools made in 1999 after the last time an F5 tornado leveled their district. You're probably thinking the district just didn't know what could happen. They knew. On May 3, 1999, a Doppler on wheels radar truck pointed at a tornado tearing through the same neighborhoods and clocked it at 321 miles an hour. That's still the highest tornado wind speed ever measured anywhere in human history. Josh Wurman's team at the Center for Severe Weather Research scanned that funnel from a parked truck on the plains. The reading was taken roughly 100 feet above the surface, not at ground level. No instrument survives ground level inside an F5. That's why the official rating came from damage, not the radar number. That tornado obliterated Kelley Elementary in the same school district. 0 kids died at Kelley because the storm hit after the school day ended. The Federal Emergency Management Agency published a 200-page report on what happened, and Moore public schools used that report to rebuild Kelley Elementary as the model FEMA-compliant school in America. Then they stopped. Plaza Towers got nothing. Briarwood got nothing. Most schools in Moore got nothing. 14 years later, on May 20, 2013, at 2:56 in the afternoon, an EF5 tornado dropped out of a supercell over Newcastle, Oklahoma, and walked 14 miles east through the exact same neighborhoods the 1999 storm tore through. It stayed on the ground for 40 minutes. It hit Plaza Towers Elementary at 3:01 p.m. during dismissal prep. The cinder-block walls of the interior hallway had been engineered for the loads a normal building sees in normal weather. They had not been engineered to resist a 200-mile-an-hour uplift force pulling the roof off above them and then dragging the walls outward. The walls dropped on the kids in seconds. This is the part that should make you angry. The fix existed in 1999. The funding existed in 1999. The engineering existed in 1999. FEMA's own publication called the rebuilt Kelley Elementary the case study to copy. 14 years went by and the district copied it exactly once. Plaza Towers and Briarwood were on the same 1999 warning the rebuilt Kelley was on. Now think about how we know the 2013 storm was an EF5 in the first place, because the answer is going to surprise you. There was no Doppler on wheels truck inside the Moore tornado on May 20, 2013. There was no meter on a pole that pegged 210 miles an hour. The Enhanced Fujita Scale doesn't work that way. The EF scale replaced Fujita's original 1971 F scale in February 2007 after Texas Tech University's Wind Science Group spent 30 years refining the damage-to-wind correlation Tetsuya Fujita first sketched out before any direct tornado wind measurements existed. The EF scale rates the same destruction more conservatively. A building grade that used to imply 261-mile-an-hour winds under the old F4 now implies 166 to 200-mile-an-hour winds under EF4. The numbers got lower, the storms did not. The EF rating you see in every news headline is forensic, not meteorological. The National Weather Service's official definition uses the phrase wind estimates, not measurements. A team of structural engineers walks the damage path after the storm has dissipated. They look at 28 specific damage indicators, things like single-family homes, big box retail walls, transmission towers, and reinforced concrete schools. For each indicator, they grade the damage on an 8-level scale. The damage grade tells them what 3-second gust speed could have caused that destruction. Then they take the highest indicator anywhere along the path, and that's the EF rating. The 200-mile-an-hour wall fall at Plaza Towers Elementary is what put May 20, 2013 over the EF5 threshold. 210 miles an hour, that's the official estimate for the Moore 2013 storm. The actual peak wind inside the funnel could have been higher. Without a radar truck or a chase team in the right spot at the right second, we'll never know. Here's what actually makes a tornado that wide hit a town that hard. The May 20 storm developed over Newcastle as a discrete supercell, the most violent class of thunderstorm on Earth. What separates a supercell from an ordinary thunderstorm is wind shear, winds at different altitudes blowing in different directions, twisting the rising updraft into a horizontal tube of spinning air. A strong updraft tilts that tube vertical, and you have a rotating updraft a mile wide called a mesocyclone. The mesocyclone tightens through conservation of angular momentum, the same physics that speeds up a figure skater when she pulls her arms in, until the bottom of the rotation reaches the ground. That contact point is the tornado. In a small tornado, the funnel is a single column of spinning air, maybe 50 yards wide. In a violent tornado, like the May 20 storm, the funnel is a 1-mile wide column, and inside that column, smaller suction sub-vortices form and orbit the parent rotation at hundreds of miles an hour. The wind a building feels isn't just the parent funnel's wind, it's the parent funnel's wind plus the sub-vortex's wind, hitting the same point at the same instant. That's why surface damage along an EF5 path is so wildly uneven. One house gets swept off its foundation, the house next door loses shingles. The sub-vortex passed over one and not the other. The pressure inside a violent tornado's core drops roughly 100 millibars below ambient, about 10% below normal atmospheric pressure. Tim Samaras' TWISTEX probe recorded that drop directly inside the 2003 Manchester, South Dakota F4. That pressure differential is what generates the suction pulling roofs upward and walls outward, and in a sub-vortex passing over a house, it happens in under a second, faster than any building can equalize. The roof doesn't lift, it explodes. Cinder-block walls are designed to carry vertical compression loads. They have almost no resistance to lateral suction from a 200-mile-an-hour pressure differential ripping the roof off above them. The roof is also the lateral bracing for the wall. When the roof goes, the wall is suddenly a freestanding rectangle of mortar joints holding nothing. It tips inward toward the kids huddling against it because that's the direction the pressure gradient is pulling. A FEMA-compliant safe room is engineered the other way. The federal standard is called FEMA P-361. It specifies a 250-mile-an-hour 3-second gust survival criterion, which exceeds the threshold for any tornado ever rated, including both Moore EF5s. It's a reinforced concrete or steel box embedded in the structure. The walls are tied to the foundation and to a continuous reinforced lid. The whole assembly is rated for a 250-mile-an-hour 3-second gust, which is the design standard for an above EF5 tornado. The Texas Tech University National Wind Institute documented 19 above-ground FEMA-compliant safe rooms inside or near the Moore damage path on May 20, 2013. All 19 protected every occupant with no injuries. The engineering works. It has worked every time it's been built. After May 20, 2013, the Moore School District built 99 new safe rooms across the metro area. Every Moore public school now has one. Plaza Towers Elementary was rebuilt with one. Briarwood was rebuilt with one. The fix that existed in 1999 finally got installed in 2014. If a third grader hiding from a 200-mile-an-hour wall fall and a U.S. Geological Survey volcanologist hiding from a 220-mile-an-hour lateral blast both died because the same lesson got ignored, the physics is the same and the warnings were on paper for decades. That video is right here on Sketchy Science.